Hey Remodelaholics, welcome back to our DIY channel. Today we're going to be installing AirStone to the fireplace surround. So this is a really easy DIY project and we are going to show you how to do it. Alright, so here's where we're going to put the stone right there. And for starters, I went and created a little template on the floor. So I want to lay these down on the template so I get the variation that I want, and then I'll glue them in place. And this project is being sponsored by AirStone. I am going to be installing their Birch Bluff color collection. There are 4 variations of color tones within each collection. I started by laying out all the variations. There are also a variety of sizes. I made sure to mix up the color and sizes as I laid them out on my template. We like the look of having all narrow pieces in the layout. I also made sure that the joints were staggered from row to row, that the sizes were mixed up. For the inside edge of the fireplace, we use the finished edge stone. It comes in a separate box, so you need to make sure if you have corners or need finished edges on your project that you purchase that box. The finished edge stone has a rounded corner on one end. So when I was laying out the stone, I made sure the inside of the fireplace had that rounded end. Then I went through and mixed up the sizes and the color tones until I had it laid out the way we wanted it. Once all the stone pieces were laid out, then they were all ready to be cut to size. Alright, so we decided how we're going to start laying out the stone. I built this little temporary ledge to help me support the stone while I glue it in place. I'm just going to glue right along this line, do that first edge, let it dry really well so that it supports all this stuff up above it. So after the adhesive is set for these upper stones, we'll take out this temporary bar and then we'll work on the 2 legs going down. Alright, so here's the adhesive we're using. We're just going to use a putty knife and frost the back of it like you're frosting a cupcake. You want between 1/8 of an inch and 3/16 of an inch of glue on the back of each stone. Now I just need to take the stones from the layout on the floor and glue them to the fireplace surround. So here's the reciprocating saw that I'm using to cut the stone. It has a masonry bit on it that makes it easy to cut the stone. And you just want to make sure you have a nice flat surface to join up against the next piece of stone. I glued on each layer and cut the pieces as I went. Once I got to the last layer, I measured the leftover space to see what the width of the final stones needed to be cut to. With this cut, I decided to use a tile saw since the cuts were so long and narrow. The tile saw got them all wet, so I had to clean them and dry them before I glued them in place. I didn't do this with all the cuts because it was such a mess to clean up. Now all the top section was in place. I let that dry for over an hour. Then I removed the temporary ledge and started to pre-cut all the pieces for the left leg section, and then I glued those in place. Since I was working from the top down, I had to work quickly and get the stones up before they started to sag down too far. Once I got them all up, I placed some shims underneath the last section just right above the hearth. Then I measured that width and cut my last layer of stone on the tile saw. Once I had the stones cut, I removed the shims and glued the bottom pieces in place. Then I repeated that same process on the other side of the fireplace. If you haven't already seen the videos in this Fireplace Makeover playlist, be sure to do so to see the process that we've taken so far to get to this point. You can also find more detailed information about AirStone in our blog post in the link below. Let us know in the comments below if this is something you would like to try at your house. Alright, that's it. Now the weight of this, if it needs to settle, it'll just sit on top of these little shims here. Alright, so we got our base pieces all made and painted. Then we're going to put them in place and call it done. Give us a thumbs up if you think we did a good job. We are really happy with how this turned out. It looks so nice and so clean. It really finishes up the look of our fireplace mantle. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.